heartbreaking. We go to work every day because we want to save people. Firefighters, we don't like an outcome that isn't as a positive outcome. But again, there's no training for when we deal with children and children that are, you don't. There's no training for when you have to work a 5-year-old child. Firefighters pulling off their fire gear. You're wearing your turnouts in the back of the ambulance. We multitask on the fire ground. Again, just an outstanding effort from everybody on the fire ground. I'll turn it over to Phoenix PD now.
All right, hi, I'm Sergeant Rob Scheer, R-O-B-S-C-H-E-R-E-R. I'm a sergeant with the Phoenix Police Department's Public Affairs Bureau. First, I'd just like to echo what Rob kind of said. And from the Phoenix Police Department, condolences to the family of the patients from this incident. Just to update you on the patients, just to get that element done. We do have 5 victims involved in this incident. As Rob said, an adult male was pulled out and was pronounced deceased on scene. 4 children, younger children, I can give you ages from approximately 5 to 12. All 4 children were transported to local hospitals. 2 of those children were pronounced deceased at the local hospital, and 2 children are still currently being treated at a local hospital in critical condition. Along with the condolences to those families, on behalf of the Phoenix Police Department, we'd like to send thoughts and prayers out to those 2 kids fighting for their life. Also, from my perspective, and I guess my perspective alone, I'd like to commend those firefighters that responded to this. Like Rob said, there's nothing, as first responders, we can tell each other this is what we may encounter. We can tell each other this is what we're going to come into contact with. But we're all human beings, and to see it in front of us, we do get robotic. I don't want to say we see things that would expose us to this routinely, but it doesn't become easier. It sometimes becomes harder. And as a department, as the fire department has and as the police department has, we've learned from these scenarios, and the element of cowboying up just doesn't work. And the work done by the Phoenix Fire Department and the firefighters that entered this house and rescued those children. Give you a little background on the investigation. This investigation specifically at this point will be conducted by the Phoenix Fire Investigations Task Force. This task force is, again, it is another great example of our partnership with the Phoenix Fire Department. It includes the fire department and the Phoenix Police Department. The point of this task force specifically is to respond to any kind of fire that could be suspicious. That says that this was a purposefully or this was set intentionally. There's nothing that says that at this point. This investigation is not done. I encourage patience with this. Anything that involves death, we're going to go slow and go and methodical. Specifically, that involves multiple deaths, and in this case, involves the death of a child. We're going to go probably even slower. Us as investigators, like I said, we're human beings. We want to know the what, why, when, and how right now also. Luckily, our experience and these investigators, I assure you, are extremely experienced. They're going to slow down to make sure we don't miss things, because missing things in an investigation like this is not acceptable. And they won't. And they're going to go slow. They're going to fine-tooth comb it, and they're going to get down to what happened and why. Again, our goal with this task force and our goal with this partnership is to investigate scenes like this and be able to find out those questions that everybody has right now, and that if I could, I would be able to give to you. So, yes, sir. At this point, yeah, we can establish that it was a father and his children. As far as specific other relationships and things of that nature, that's going to be part of the investigation. Specific ages and names of the children, specifically the ones that have passed away. We, investigators, victim advocates, counselors, all of that will attempt to locate and contact anybody involved in these children's lives. No one's ready for a child to pass away. Those children have contact with many people, whether it be at school, teachers, classmates, former classmates, friends, and we're going to ensure that those outlets and things to help them go through this process are there before we give information on those specific parties. So I would like to tell you a rough timeline. At this point, I would like to say it would probably happen a little bit faster because we don't preliminarily believe that this was an intentionally set fire. With that kind of knowledge, it'll move, theoretically, it could move a little bit faster than if it was kind of a suspicious related kind of fire and might have been purposely set. So those tend to really slow down because then it's an element of we have a whole nother party that potentially did cause this. At this point, I would like to say it may go a little faster, hopefully. Yes. Yes. Right now we do have one adult male that was pronounced deceased on scene. Again, 4 children were transported to local hospitals. 2 of those children have been pronounced deceased at a local hospital. 2 of those children are still fighting for their lives and considered in critical condition. At this point, I couldn't say what they are. I know obviously medical professionals are going to do what they do, just as the fire department did to give them every chance to survive. I don't have a specific update to what they're dealing with right now. At this point, we're going to go through the investigation. I mean, we have 4 children that were transported to the hospital, 2 that are deceased. Putting all those pieces together in a scenario like that isn't going to be easy from the forefront. When I have that information, I will push it out to you guys through a media advisory. I have one set and ready to go, but it's not going to include much more than what I've given you today. So I'll hold off, and when I can get that information, maybe be able to release ages and additional information, I will get that to you guys. Yes, the call came in shortly after 11.
So mute it when they're done.
Yes. We've really reached out to other family members, part of the process when someone does pass away. Specific relationships of those family members at this point, because of the sensitivity of it, I won't release right now. But yes, we're reaching out. That's kind of our primary goal right now, is really with the preliminary information that this wasn't intentionally set. Our goal now is to ensure and do what we can for those that were touched by not only the adult but the children also, and make sure we're there for them as much as we can. We do feel, obviously, as Rob said, part of our family, part of our community passed away today, and these are tragic events that us as first responders take very, very seriously, and investigators take very seriously. So yeah, that's our primary goal, is to try to find those that were touched by these kids, and the adult male involved, and really reach out and be there for them. Anything else? Okay. Yep.
Okay, you've been listening live to Phoenix Police and Fire giving us a full debrief on a late night condo fire at 35th Avenue and Northern. And now they're confirming for us a really heartbreaking details. A man and 2 children died in this late night fire, and 2 children are in the hospital right now in critical condition, fighting for their lives. We're waiting for the ages of these children. We're told they're anywhere between 5 to 12 years old. But if you're just joining us, again, we're hearing from Phoenix Fire and Police that a man and his 2 children have perished in this late night condo fire at 35th Avenue and Northern, and at least 2 other children are in the hospital right now. 5 total pulled by firefighters from that home in the overnight hours.